Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to peel back the case on probably the most common and, yeah, most misunderstood machine in our lives. We're going to find out what a computer really is. All right, let's just start with a quick question for you. How many computers have you actually used today? Go on, think about it. One? Maybe two? I bet the real answer is way, way higher than you'd guess. And that's because these machines, well, they're basically masters of disguise, hiding in plain sight all around us. Okay, so let's really dive into this. If we're going to find all those hidden computers, we first have to tackle this huge myth about what they even are. You know, a lot of us, we think the computer is just the glowing screen, right? The thing on our desk or in our hand. But that's kind of like saying a car is just its windshield. The screen, that's just a window. The real magic, the actual thinking, is happening inside. You've got this whole team of tiny physical parts, that's the hardware, and they're all working together following this set of invisible instructions we call software. So here's the key thing. A computer isn't really defined by what it looks like, its shape, or its size. It's defined by four things it does. It takes in information, it thinks about it, it remembers it for later, and then it gives you back a result. Seriously? Everything a computer does, no matter how complex, boils down to those four simple steps: input, process, store, and output. Actually, your own body is a fantastic way to think about this. Your senses, your eyes and ears, they're taking in the world. That's your input. Then your brain thinks about what you're seeing and hearing. That's processing. Your memory holds on to stuff. That's storage. And then when you speak or do something, boom, that's your output. See, computers basically do the same thing. They just use electricity instead of brain cells. And to really appreciate how far we've come, you have to look back at one of the very first electronic computers, the ENIAC. I mean, this thing was an absolute monster. It weighed 30 tons. It filled an entire room and sucked up enough electricity to power a small town. Just imagine that.
And what happened next is this incredible shrinking act. It's just amazing. We went from that room-sized ENIAC to a hard drive in 1956 that was the size of 2 refrigerators. Then, the very first mouse was literally a little wooden box. And today, the smartphone in your pocket, it is thousands upon thousands of times more powerful than all of those things put together. It's wild.
Okay, so now we know the secret, right? We're not looking for a screen, we're looking for a machine that follows instructions. So let's go on a little hunt and see if we can spot some of those hidden helpers that are all around us. I mean, just think about your kitchen. That microwave, it's got a tiny little computer inside telling it exactly how long to zap your popcorn. Your smart fridge, if you have one, is using a computer to keep track of your groceries. And your washing machine, yep, that's a computer too, controlling all the cycles. They're in your car's dashboard, your TV remote. Seriously, once you start looking, you see they're absolutely everywhere. And their impact goes so much deeper than just convenience. Think about it. A student in a really remote village can use a simple tablet to join a class happening halfway across the world. At the same time, a gamer in a huge, bustling city is connecting with players from dozens of different countries. These little machines, they just completely bridge those distances and create these amazing shared experiences. So, the big question is, how do all these completely different machines, everything from a microwave to a super powerful smartphone, how do they actually work? Well, it turns out they all use those same 4 fundamental actions we mentioned earlier. And a really cool way to understand them is to think of them as 4 superpowers. Okay, so to get a handle on these powers, I want you to picture a chef in a kitchen. But this isn't just any chef. This chef is super, super fast, following a recipe at lightning speed. Right, so every single thing a computer does, no matter what it is, follows this exact same 4-step recipe. It gets the ingredients, it works with them, it saves some stuff in the pantry, and then it serves up the final dish. Let's break that down. So first up, we've got input. This is basically you giving the computer its ingredients. Every time you type on a keyboard, click a mouse, or even talk to a smart speaker, you're providing input. You're basically telling the chef, hey, here's what I want you to make. Okay, next up is processing. Now the chef gets to work. This is where the computer's brain, we call it the CPU, or central processing unit, just kicks into gear. This little thinking chip follows the recipe with absolute precision, mixing and baking those ingredients at speeds that are just unbelievable. That's what's happening when a video game character jumps the split second you hit the button. Then, of course, there's storage. A computer has to remember things, and it actually uses 2 different kinds of memory. You've got your short-term memory, which we call RAM. Think of it like a backpack. It holds whatever you're actively working on right now. But then you have long-term storage, like a hard drive. That's more like the pantry or a closet. It saves all your files, your games, your photos permanently, even after you turn the power off. And finally, the best part, the output. This is the delicious meal, the final dish served up for you to enjoy. It's the picture you see on your screen, the music coming out of your speakers, or the paper coming out of your printer. The chef has served the dish and the job is done. All right, so we get what a computer is now, and we have a pretty good idea of how it works. But the real question is, why does any of this actually matter? So for our last section, let's take a look at why understanding these machines is, well, it's pretty empowering. See, these machines are so much more than just gadgets. They are incredibly powerful tools for change. I mean, they're helping scientists solve some of the world's most complex problems. They connect us with people we love, no matter where they are. They're unlocking entirely new ways to be creative, and they are radically improving life for people with disabilities. And that's where you really see their true potential, to build a more fair and inclusive world. Simple things like voice commands can be life-changing for someone with limited mobility. And those online learning platforms? They're reaching villages that never had access to that kind of education before. Computers are actively tearing down old barriers. It's exactly the kind of thing that computing pioneer Grace Hopper was dreaming of when she helped create these things. But maybe the single most important thing to remember is this: a computer isn't magic. Not at all. It's a tool. And behind every single smart device, there's just a set of instructions telling it exactly what to do. And once you understand that, well, you're one giant step closer to being the one who gets to write the instructions. And that really brings us to our final thought here. The device you're using to watch this right now, it is no joke, a supercomputer compared to the machines that started it all. So the only question left is, now that you know what it really is, what amazing problem are you going to solve with it?